It's just quite a beautiful sight, isn't it? You know, I enjoy watching these sunsets. It's really peaceful out here. And that's what I like about my neighborhood. It's really peaceful. An optimistic army, Christian Miracle is here and no longer in character. No longer in character from the Huntrabane storyline because it's finally done. I hope you guys understand the premises of why I created this storyline. This evil, like, twin character, or dark side. Well, the point is, I did it because I wanted to prove a point to everybody that we all have light and darkness within us. No one's perfect. Sometimes the darkness inside of you can feel like as if it's playing a whole different game with you, like a mind game, making you do things you wouldn't normally do. At the same time, you have a light side. But the point of the matter is, we all have light and dark within us. We can never choose whether we are full of light or full of dark, because no matter what we choose in life, there's always two halves of our soul. There's always a light side and a dark side. It doesn't mean you're half a good person, half a bad person. It's how you choose to act with all the things you do. Like me, for example, I choose to think optimistically. A lot of the things I've done in the past was really poor choices. There are times where I made a lot of good choices. One of the best choices I think I've ever made was you guys. It's becoming an optimistic leader. Because you guys, honestly, you mean the world to me. Not many people were there for me, like in my school days. Like, I was one of the most unpopular kids there are. And that happens. I may have been one of the most unpopular people there, but that doesn't mean I was a nobody. Though in a lot of people's ways I was. For the earliest years of my life, I was a nobody. I just like this nice summer breeze. It's pleasant. Especially in a neighborhood that's so pleasant. May have a few occasional cars around here, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's absolutely wonderful. Which is why I'm glad I don't live in a city. Because I'm not really a city guy. Panic alarms. It's just so majestic out here. I like certain days like this where the weather's calm, peaceful, has a nice wind to it. This is honestly the first time that there's a school year that's almost over and I'm not a part of it because I'm no longer in school. It just feels weird. I'm gonna pick it up a little bit later. You see, that's a perfect example of a beautiful sight. In most people's cases, they don't really get a lot of peaceful views. Because most of the time, everywhere around them is full of buildings, full of cars, full of people. Pretty much everything. Here, everything is nice and calm. Which is why I really like this place. Which is why I'm likely never gonna move to a big city I mean, visiting, fine. Moving, nope. Because as much as a city's wonderful, it's just not my thing. I mean, I'm not a guy who has anything against cities, but that's odd. Things were a lot quiet when I turned the corner. It was not quiet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Huntrabane storyline and it's in its entirety, not just the things that happened back in October to December. But it's always good to know I got supporters like you guys. There goes the plane. Which reminds me that I will be getting on a plane myself next month. Taking a nice vacation next July to Virginia Beach. That should be fun. Virginia Beach. Never been there before. Never even been to the state of Virginia. Flown over it when I was on my way to Florida, but I've never been to the state of Virginia. So I wonder if it's going to be fun. So I just want to say that, like, the Huntrabane storyline was really good. And I know that it was originally canceled back in December because of extremely negative responses to the original character. But the thing is, what you saw at the ending where Christian confronts Huntrabane and freaking shoots him and dies as well, actually that was always going to be the plan at the end. The thing is, the original plan was that it would end before I would head off to Orlando for WrestleMania. In which case there'd be like a build-up. There would have been a build-up to my final appearance. Actually, well, my first appearance since I was strangled by Huntrabane. But of course, like, nobody really liked the original character, which I understand would look like a rip-off of Sting. Rip-off of Sting or the guys from Kiss. Understandable. When I look back on it now, even I admit that was kind of not the best way to do it. So when people have been wanting me to come back as Huntrabane, like bring back the character, I decided to myself, I can't just bring back the face-painted character because then the backlash comes back. So what I did was, I believe in that same winter I bought a hunting... Actually, it's not... Yeah, I bought a hunting mask. As a matter of fact, I'll show you. You guys get an exclusive look at the Mask of Huntrabane. This is it right here. See this? Without anybody in there, it looks freaking creepy, doesn't it? Goes all the way around. Covers my entire head. The only thing you'll be able to see is my eyes. That's how it was always meant to be. Indeed it was. So what happened was, when I saw the mask, and I usually put it on because of freezing cold temperatures out here and where I live, because when the winters up here in southern Ontario, it gets extremely cold. Freaking like -10, -15 degrees. I'm not kidding, it's freaking cold as shit. But what I did was, I decided, when I looked at myself in the mirror and everything, I look kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, I kind of look a little freaky. And then, the idea popped. The idea popped that I could wear that, and at the same time, now everybody's going to ask, okay, what about the rest of it? Well, here's the rest of it. Huntrabane's cloak and hood. Want to know the secret of this? There's the hood, you see it? There's the cloak. Here's the big secret of it. This, I wonder if, I'm surprised that nobody caught on to what it really looked like, because of what it really was. The cloak, the cape, then the hood, along with the mask that I wore, Well, the mask, well, that's just a hunting mask. But this cape, look what's on the tag. Star Wars. That's because this is the Sith Lord outfit. This is like a Halloween costume. Sith Lord Halloween costume. Because I dressed up as a, I don't know, I just put on the cloak, put on the hood, had a toy lightsaber, pretending to be a Sith Lord on Halloween this past year. I don't know why, because I just love Star Wars. But when I put on I decided to one day accessorize Huntrabane for a possible return, and so what I did was I put on the cloak, put on the mask, then I put the hood up. At first, I just kept the hood down at first, but I'm like, that's not good enough. Let me put the hood up. And then when I put the hood up, I was like, whoa, nice. It'd be a lot easier than painting my face to look like Sting, something like that, for like an hour. Literally, it took me an hour and a half. So that's what I did. I went ahead and decided to use that as Huntrabane. And I filmed a random clip just to test it out. I altered the clips to make it look dark. And when I did that, it was very dark. You could barely see anything. And I thought that was actually a cool thing. There were other times where you could see the face. But the thing is, when the original clips, when you just hear my voice and everything, it's obvious that that I was always playing Huntrabane. That's kind of what it was always about. I was never disguising myself on purpose to think, oh, is anybody going to recognize me? Because everybody knew from the start I was always Huntrabane. So what I did was when I was editing on my Final Cut Pro application, I altered the voice. To make it sound more demonic. So I just lowered the pitch by 1.
And I sounded exactly like this. I sound like Huntrabane now. I even lowered my voice in general, even without the editing, so I could sound exactly like him, and alter the voice even more to make it sound more demonic.
So that's exactly what I did. And so that's how the Huntrabane costume was created. And now I just want to take a quick moment to let you guys know that another thing I did was I was like, I wanted to bring back the Huntrabane storyline. But at first I decided I would introduce this newly designed Huntrabane in a video where even Huntrabane is actually showing support for me because of my channel's termination. And when people saw the new and improved Huntrabane, I was just ready for the backlash. But everybody gave that a more positive reception. You guys are probably distracted right now by the Kylo Ren mask behind me. That's okay. So what everybody... I was surprised to see a lot of positive reception on the newly designed character, mainly because it looked a little more original rather than face-painted person, which kind of looked a little unusual. And not unusual in a good way, sadly. So, as I was in Orlando for WrestleMania week, I actually thought more about reintroducing the character for the Takeover series, because I figured the story was stopped abruptly, but I have a chance to continue it. And so that's why I did a mini series where I would do the thing where my character Christian, was losing his mind literally because he had no memories, saying stuff like, who am I? What am I doing? What's going on here? And Huntrabane would think that would cause him to forget about his channel, and then he would take over it. Never worked because of the optimism too much from people who were giving me birthday wishes. But Huntrabane wishes I never did that. And so, that didn't work out. Huntrabane was repelled back by the powers of the Optimistic Army, so he stayed low for another few weeks, and that's when I did the thing with the mirror, the dimension of mirrors. And now I know, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. A lot of people who have seen what had been going on with the Dimension of Mirrors, or Christian Miracle being trapped inside a mirror, immediately they were pretty much saying, oh, is this guy's copying McJuggernuggets Isaac series. That's what he's doing. And just so you know, yeah, while I am a huge fan of McJuggernuggets, so it's kind of obvious I did the Psycho sins. I sinned every single Psycho video. Well, I did that, and it was kind of inspired by it. At the same time, that's not what this was all about. I was not intended to do a blatant ripoff of it. It was inspired by McJuggernuggets series, but I wanted to put a little bit more depth into this. Instead of spending a lot of months of build-up into this, I figured I didn't want this to last forever. And so what I did was I decided to alter the character again to for myself to play Huntrabane, but not in the costume yet, and for the longest time try to make anybody guess of what the hell was going on. So in the video Thank You, where you see both Huntrabane and Christian in the same shot, where Huntrabane pulls out what seems to be absolutely nothing and throws that nothing into the mirror, Christian touches the mirror, and that transfers Huntrabane into his body, and his soul gets swapped into the Dimension of Mirrors. And so when that happens, Huntrabane took over the channel as he wanted, but eventually, as time went on, people just kept going on and on about, oh, this guy's doing this. Especially because a friend of mine who's a really big fan, he and I DM'd on Twitter. His name's William Miracle, but he's not actually he's not related to me. It was the whole point to be part of the series, to make people think, oh, is this guy related to Christian? That's why his Twitter name's @MiracleLegacy. We DM'd a lot, and I actually said, okay, how about this? You'll do some tweets. We're trying to expose Huntrabane. You're trying to expose Christian, saying, oh, you're not Christian, you're Huntrabane, I can tell, because of this. And so that went on for about a week, and then finally I did a video about it, and when that happened, at that point I was like, alright, now's a chance for the big video called I Am Not Huntrabane, where that's the big one where you guys clearly see the mirror reflection move in a way that the character did not. Thus further proof that Christian Miracle was stuck inside the Dimension of Mirrors. But then it started going downhill and everything, because Huntrabane starts hearing voices saying, you need to finish him off. Otherwise your body's going to rot away, because this is not, because you need the whole thing. You need the whole soul. No, you need the whole soul or nothing else. So Huntrabane intended to destroy the mirror, finally revealed himself, but accidentally dropped this camera into the mirror. And what happened, it was picked up by Christian on the other side, and that's why I flipped that end of that video and the entire thing of the next video. That's why there's a video on my Life of Miracle channel called Dimension of Mirrors, except the entire video is spelled backwards and mirrored. So that way, if you put up like your computer or your phone up to a mirror, you'd see the title Dimension of Mirrors as it normally would be. But I thought to myself that was just a cool idea. I even wrote down some tweets completely backward to give much more hype to what was going to happen in the finale. And so when that went on, eventually, like, Christian realized what he had to do was sacrifice himself for his fans to prove that he loved them, and at the same time wanted to make sure that they're not around a treacherous liar like Huntrabane. And that finally led up to the big finale that people have been wanting to see for months and months and months, which was Christian Miracle versus Huntrabane. But unfortunately, it wasn't a case where one must go, because if they're sharing the same soul, they both go. So, that's how it went. Christian shoots Huntrabane. He dies as well. And the quotes that I put in at the end were very true, because everybody has a darkness inside them. It may not be exactly a separate spirit, but this is the way I channeled it, as a way to show people that everybody should really show love and support for the people that they care about. But at the same time, be careful, because sometimes the biggest thing that you can fear is yourself. Because, you know, there's always that saying, when someone loses control, they black out, but they black out, they don't remember things, but at the same time, their body continues to act. That's as if their anger, their sadness, their fear takes the form of another spirit and possesses you momentarily to continue your actions while your mind is not working properly. And that's exactly what I learned from this. And that's exactly what inspired me to create the Huntrabane character and create this series, to let you guys know that depression, anxiety, sadness, fear, anger, rage, while I suffer from a lot of that, at the same time, it can go downward if you choose it that way. And Christian's character, Christian, he went ahead, he thought about it, he lowered the gun, but then thought to himself once again that Huntrabane put him through hell and tried to take over the channel and take everything away from him, including his fans, who he loved dearly. And Christian, in a final act of defiance, blew his entire optimism away and shot him. That's why, it also explains why when Christian fell, the hat fell off him, because the hat fell off him when he fell to the ground. That also symbolized the fact that the optimism is no longer there with him, because he murdered. It may have been his other half of his soul, but at the same time, he committed a murder. And when you commit a murder, optimism really gets taken away, because you know you're guilty of what you just did. And that's why the final shot is that Christian dies, his body disappears, just like Huntrabane disappeared. And that's why the final shot of this entire series was the Think Optimistically hat as the camera faded to black. Because the final message is, no matter what happens in your life, no matter whether challenges are really difficult, whether you're scared to do things that you don't really want to do, at the same time, sometimes you just gotta face your fears. You don't have to get over your fear. You can fight. You can keep going even with your fear. Keep going. Take the challenges, everything you need. Because this isn't just a catchphrase. Think Optimistically is more than just a catchphrase. It really means a lot to me. My friend from Hollywood, Ty, my young actor, did great in Jurassic World. He's the guy who actually inspired me to use that phrase, think optimistically, because he told me, like, if things go downhill for you, what you need to do, think optimistically. Sometimes that's all you can do. So that's what inspired me to create Huntrabane and the series. And I look at the positive reception that the finale got. It wasn't until the very end where they saw the ending, the cinematic shots where Christian confronts Huntrabane and kills him, which kills him too. It wasn't until that point where everybody kept saying, "Oh man, it's over, I want to see more." So that was a fun series to do. I hope you guys enjoyed it, even if, well, the beginning started off really badly, kind of cringy. It's understandable. I apologize. But I'm not going to apologize for creating the character. I'm not going to apologize for creating the series, because I hope that people now get a full understanding of why I created the series and why I created the character Huntrabane. It's because, well, you guys mean the world to me, and at the same time, I want to show you guys that even if I suffer, you guys really save me. And I really mean it. So, I hope you enjoyed the Huntrabane series. At the same time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video with the exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Huntrabane's outfit and how I did this and how I created this whole thing. But now, well, the summer's here. I'm going to Virginia in a few weeks. I'm going to have some fun. Subscribe for more content. Twitter, Facebook, links in the description. Patreon, link in the description as well. Love you guys forever. You're my optimistic army. I really hope you enjoy the series, because I sure as hell did. And remember, think optimistically.